By the end of this video, you are going to know the perfect Pokemon strategy for you in competitive Pokemon VGC. I'm going to walk through the exact multi-level framework to where if you follow along with me and we're doing it together, you will have your perfect customized team strategy created. Whether you're a new player who doesn't know where to start, whether you're a player who's been going to tournaments but never knows what strategy to pick, the key to picking a good strategy is what I'm going to show you. And I took this myself to discover my strategy, which I'm going to show you down here, that has led me to using the same strategy over the course of a year across all these different types of battling formats. That has led me to getting multiple day twos, multiple top cuts, and now in 1 week from today, I'm going to be competing in my first ever VGC World Championships. Well, not a week, it's like 5 days. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited because the next Pokemon season is about to start. And whether you're watching this video right before the next season, during the middle of the season, during the end, wherever you are in your VGC journey, you have to know what strategy to pick. And I'm here to help you do that because I don't want you to waste time trying all these different types of teams. I don't want you to waste time on the wrong strategy. I don't want you to be lost. I want you to know the exact perfect thing for you so you can pick the strategy that will take you from where you are now to your goals. Because with this, you're going to save a lot of time and pick something to where you don't even realize that you're so much better than you already are. So let's just get into the video. I don't want to waste any of your time because in this video, we're going to find your Pokemon and VGC strategy, all right? Level 1 is tempo. You're going to say, Darsh, what is tempo? What is level 1? Well, I'm going to tell you that the speed of your play and the speed of your personality will dictate the type of team that you end up choosing. So what does that mean? There are 4 different types of tempo, in my opinion. There are 4 types of tempo. There's the blow, S-H-I-T up. There's just blow it up. Boom, fast, explosive, fiery, quick, aggressive. That is the first thing. Maybe that's you. Let me know if that's you in the comments. Number 2 is there's the wait until there's the perfect time. It's like if you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is the water bender. They're like, it's like a Katara, right? That's waiting until the perfect time. Then there's the take your time, right? You're patient. You are very relaxed. You are in no rush. Your mind has a really strong stamina to where you are very comfortable taking your time. Then there's the adapt to all, right? This is the like, I'm adaptable. I can handle anything. I want to be able to go fast. I want to be able to go slow. I want to be proactive, but also reactive, right? Those are the 4 different types of tempo. And you know yourself what you are. You say, Darsh, how do I know what tempo I am? Well, I'm going to tell you. When you play Pokemon, what has worked for you the most? But let's take it outside of Pokemon, right? When you play basketball, when you play sports, when you are eating your food, people will ask you, are you a fast eater or a slow eater? I'm telling you that actually makes a difference. When you play basketball, are you someone who's always trying to shoot the ball? Or are you more reactive? You're passing, right? Like, you have to think about, when you're driving your car, are you someone that looks before you cross? Are you weaving in and out of the lane? Think about your actual human experience and understand what that is. I'll tell you me. For me, I'm a wait until perfect time and a take your time kind of person, right? For me, I am not that aggressive. I'm typically more calm. Even though my energy is high, I'm a lot more reactive. I like to see how things go. I like to be a little bit more balanced in my approach, but more in the sense of like I'm a slow eater. I'm not very aggressive and fast-paced. I like my things very methodical, very reactive, very analytical. So I think myself, I don't know if I'm a blue, but I know I'm definitely a green. I would say I'm a take your time kind of guy. But you know what you are, right? Are you blow it up? Are you aggressive? Are you fast? Are you waiting? Are you a counter striker? Are you a take your timer? Are you an adapt to all? Are you the avatar? Right? What are you? Once you know your tempo, that is the first important thing, right? Don't overthink it yet. Just know your tempo, write it down, okay? Number 2 over here is history, right? What is your history? So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. When you played the game Pokemon VGC, what did you hate and what did you love? For me, hate. I hate when I get one turn wrong and I lose the game. I hate when I have to make an aggressive 50-50. I hate when I am put into a position of whatever my lead is, the lead roulette. I hate that. What is my best history? My best history is when I'm more patient. I'm using screens. I'm using Grimmsnarl. I'm very reactive. I have damage reduction. Like, I think about my entire history playing Pokemon, right? My very first regional I ever went to, it was terrible. I didn't even know what I was doing. But my best ever, so I guess what was your best? I want to ask you the same question. Your best moments in Pokemon, whether it's on Pokemon Showdown, whether it's in a regional tournament, what was your best ever time you were playing? What was your highest ever tournament finish? What was your best you felt on the inside that you were doing? That's important to know because that will dictate a lot of your success. For me, my best was Grimmsnarl screens. I have made 3 top cuts. All 3 of those have had Grimmsnarl. All 3 of those top cuts have had Grimmsnarl. Before I ever made top cut, all my day 2s had Grimmsnarl, Goldango, or Rain. Oftentimes, all 3 of those things. So I knew my best things were Grimmsnarl, Rain, and screens. That's what I knew was my best, okay? Now, 2 is what did I hate the most? Again, I hated aggressive teams. I hated it. I never played well when I brought an aggressive team. I went to the Hartford Regionals in 2023, and I brought Sun Hyper Offense with Murkrow. It was like Murkrow, Great Tusk, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, like Brute Bonnet. I brought all of these Pokemon. And although I did beat a regional champion in Rajan Ball in round 1, you know, I still struggled. I did not make day 2. I didn't even get to a win in it. I was playing terribly. And what did that teach me? It taught me that I'm really good with slower screens, damage reduction, and I'm really bad with hyper offense, boom, 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 fast-paced teams. So I'm going to ask you the same question right now. Write this down, right? Like, what about your playing experience resulted in your worst moments? Was it playing with a stall team, a Dondozo team, a size spam team? What were your worst moments? What was your team like when you were doing that? And then I'm going to ask you, what were your best moments, right? What kind of team were you using at your peak? When someone asks you, bro, when you were peaking in Pokemon, what were you using? I want you to answer that question, right? Because what I need you to know, before we even get into the different kinds of teams, is what is your tempo and having a clear-eyed vision about your history. Because that's really important, right? Because when you know those things, you know how you are innately, what you actually like, and then you're going to match that with what has actually worked or not worked in the past. And some of you watching are going to say, you know, but Darsh, I've never had those high of peaks. I've never made a day 2. I've never, you know, played in a regional. I've never played in a tournament before. Well, I would ask you, in any moment that you were playing, what made you feel the best, right? I can tell you an example. For me, before I ever made a day 2 or a top cut, I was playing a regional. I was practicing for a regional, and I found the Swords Dance Iron Hands team with Drain Punch, with Aya Papa Berry, which no one was using at the time. And I was just playing on ladder, and I was like, yo, I've never felt this dominant with a team in my whole life. And what did I do? I decided to make that my strategy for a regional over a month away. I went there. It was the biggest tournament ever at the time, where Wolfie actually won with Perish Trap, his first ever in Orlando, 2023. I went... 2022. I went, and not only was I starting at 2-2, I went 2-2 to 8-2 into top cutting. I'm not kidding, because I found out my tempo was slow, reactive. I found out that, you know, that team worked for me, and now I took that strategy of screens with Iron Hands, and look at me now. My last 2 day 2s and top 8s were with screens, Rains, and Iron Hands. Like, there's a very clear correlation to what I'm talking about. So now that you have those 2 things down, you're done with level 1, you're done with level 2, I want to talk about level 3. Actually picking one of the strategies. And down here you can see I have all the different strategies that if you're competing in VGC Regulation H, Regulation I at Worlds this weekend, or even whatever format in Pokemon Champions or whatever it is down the line, these are the commonalities to a team, right? There is balance. There's Tailwind, there's Trick Room, there's Sun, there's Rain, there's Setup, there's screens, there's stall, and there's terrain. You're gonna say, Darsh, but there's sand teams, there's hail teams. Shut up, bro. Like, the hail teams are just screens. I'm sorry. Sand teams, yeah, maybe once it was a sand team with Lycanroc and Tyranitar or T-Tar Excadrill and Sword and Shield. Keep that niche stuff out of here. It's not always performing. All of these strategies perform well at every tournament across years of play. These are the pillars of VGC strategy, okay? So, what I'm going to do now is walk you through every strategy and the characteristics that you have to have that will match you to that strategy. And a lot of these strategies I color-coded, right? So I have black for balance and like control, right? I put speed control in red. And I put like overall weather in blue. And I put green in terrain. My point of this is to show you that a lot of these things overlap. And what we're going to do by the end of this video, if you follow along with me, is you're not just going to say you're a Trick Room player. You're going to say, maybe I'm a Trick Room Rain Screens player. Maybe I'm a stall setup Sun player. Maybe I'm a balanced Tailwind Trick Room Terrain player, right? We're going to figure that out together. Maybe you're just balanced, right? Well, the point of this video is I'm going to walk you through all the different takes of all the different teams and even offer you suggestions on how to pick which one works for you, okay? Okay, and this is my opinion. If you don't value my opinion, I don't care. But if you do and you want to learn my opinions and what I think about these strategies, then let me know what you think, all right? So number one, balance. So when you are a balanced player, right, your goal is to be able to adapt to everything. You're always going to use good Pokemon. There is never objectively great matchups, but there are never objectively that terrible of matchups. And the key thing about balanced teams is that the way you win is from skill, right? Like, you don't have hacks. You're not preying on paralysis. There's nothing like that. It's truly a game of skill and positioning and winning, right? So when you think of balanced teams, what do you think of? I think of this Terapagos and Calyrex Shadow team. I think of Paladins with Palafin, Arcanine, and Mungus. I think of all of these different styles of Calyrex Shadow, Zamazenta, Incineroar, Urshifu, Rillaboom, right? That is balance, where you have Fire, Water, Grass. You have a like general control of the field. You may have some fake out. You might have some pivoting. That is balance, right? You don't really have speed control. A lot of these balanced teams actually don't have Tailwind, don't have Trick Room, don't have Icy Wind. They don't have that. A lot of them don't. And a lot of them don't have weather. You'd rarely ever see a quote-unquote balanced team that has sun or rain, right? It might have it, but not just balance. It's, as I wrote here, it's uncommon, okay? So that's balance. If you're a player that wants to win purely off of skill diffing everyone, what I'll say is balance is for you, because balance is skill. Balance is saying that I will always have the objectively good pieces in place enough to win. That's balance, okay? Second thing I have is Tailwind, all right? Tailwind, if you guys don't know what Tailwind is, I really hope you do, but it's quite important. Tailwind is a move that you click, which will double the speed of your Pokemon throughout a couple of turns, okay? And I'm assuming you know what Tailwind is, right? I'm assuming you know what it is. But there are different types of ways to use Tailwind, right? There's no personality that fits Tailwind. But look at the colors, right? The kind of tempo you use dictates the type of Tailwind teams that exist. So red, if you are said earlier, you like to blow things up, you like to go fast, boom, then you want a hyper offensive Tailwind teams. This exists. This is Tornadus Urshifu, right? This is, Pelipper Basculegion with Tailwind, right? This is Volcarona, Tailwind, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and DD Sneasler, right? In Regulation H. This is Whimsicott, Calyrex Shadow, Miraidon, right? This is Prankster Tailwind user next to, or Boost Energy, Iron Jungulus, whatever, next to an absolute nuke, right? Chiyu, Flutter, Tornadus, whatever, right? Kyogre, Tornadus, okay? Tailwind, Murkrow, Goldango. That is hyper offensive Tailwind, right? If you want to control the speed and you want to go even faster and your background is using Whimsicott or Tornadus or Murkrow, hyper offensive Tailwind's for you, okay? Number two is balance with Tailwind. So balance in Tailwind is never Tornadus. It's never Whimsicott. This is typically something like Pelipper, right? This is something typically like Dragonite, right? This is personally, I like this more, right? When I got top 8 at the Toronto VGC Regionals, where I beat Wolf Glick, I used Balance with Tailwind, right? I had 2 Tailwinds on my team, fun fact. I had Pelipper with Tailwind, and I had Dragonite with Tailwind. My Tailwind never went off first on the turn, never. But at some point in the game, I was able to use it, right? If you guys remember this team with Roaring Moon is also another very balanced with Tailwind team. It's always, a team that has a lot of different pieces, but you don't need Tailwind to win, but it's an option, right? So this is if you are really countering. If you want to wait for the right position. You don't want to just go boom, 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 boom. You want to go, you want to play some turns out, Tailwind. Okay? That is balanced with Tailwind. The last option is Tail Room. We say, Darsh, what's Tail Room? There's Tailwind, and then there's opposite over here, Trick Room. So the opposite of Tailwind, when you're going faster, is Trick Room actually flips the speed dimensions in reverse. So slow Pokemon move before Tailwind. So if I don't use Tailwind, and you use Tailwind, but I use Trick Room, my Pokemon will most likely go before yours. So you're going to ask Darsh, well, why is Tail Room on Tailwind? What does that even mean? Well, some teams actually feature both Tailwind and Trick Room. And these teams have actually historically performed very well. Fun fact, the team that actually won the World Championships last year by Luca Ceribelli, he actually had Tailwind on his Whimsicott and Trick Room on his Farigiraf. Because he was able to do both things, go fast and go slow. And that is something to where if you're a balanced type of player, right, you like to adapt to all things, this lets you always be in a state of control. If I want to go fast, I can go into my fast mode. If I wanted to go slow, I can go into my Trick Room mode. It gives you all of those options, okay? So that's Tailwind. And that's a speed control strategy, right? And on the opposite of Tailwind, I just mentioned, is Trick Room. So Trick Room has a very unique style of hyper offense, right? Red hyper offense. So this is for people who, again, want to go boom, want to go fast, right? You really want to go fast. But you want to be a little bit different. You want to be like, I want this game to be over in 4 to 5 turns. I am going to be read heavy. I'm going to be prediction heavy. I'm going to make you play my game. Size spam, hard Trick Room. It's a strategy that is very controversial because people always say, only brain dead people play it. But I would disagree, If you are someone who has low patience, that's completely normal. You have an aggressive play style, right? One of my friends, Jin Fury, name was Luke Bauer. He was an ex-MMA fighter. You think he wants to come and play Pokemon all slow? Hell no. No shot. He wants to blow it up. So he has played Trick Room for years. He's made the World Championships by playing the strategy. He's got day 2 with the strategy multiple times. And that's how he wants to play. Twist the dimensions, play fast, play aggressive. Indeedee, Size Spam, Expanding Force, Glacial Lance, Torkoal, Eruption. That is Size Spam. And this is for people who want to go fast a little bit differently, right? Guys, it's heating up now. It's heating up. We're cooking. Number 2 is balance with Trick Room. So, if you are not a blow-it-up type of player, but you are a player that, again, like the Pelipper Dragonite player, you want to set up Trick Room when it's convenient. You like Pokemon like Porygon 2. Pokemon like Calyrex Ice, Pokemon like Farigiraf. That is a balance with Trick Room option, right? Because you don't have to go for turn 1 Trick Room every single time or you lose, right? You could have Farigiraf in the back, click Trick Room. Porygon 2, attack, recover, attack, Trick Room. You could have, like my team right now that I'm using Regulation I, as I use Calyrex Ice. I do not need to click Trick Room turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, or turn 4. I do not need Trick Room for Calyrex Ice to win. But, I'm saying but for a reason, I have the option. And it's waiting until the perfect time, right? So, you can have this. And what does this look like, right? This looks like Farigiraf. As I said, like in Regulation or Regulation G that's coming up right now, right? There's Sinistcha. There is Farigiraf. There are a lot of these Pokemon that can set up Trick Room when you don't need it. But it's an option that you have to still control the match, right? And then again, I have Tail Room. Tail Room, I already explained it. Trick Room, Tail Room, the same team. Adjust to whatever situation you're in control. Right? So now we've gone into balance. as well as speed control. So now you might tell me, yo, Darsh, I really think I like Tailwind Hyper Offense, or I really like Trick Room Balance, because I like to adapt, but I still like the idea of being able to slow down the speeds. What I'll say is, before we even keep going, I hope you've been doing it so far, is thinking about your old strategies that work the best, right? Because maybe you had a Hyper Offense Tailwind team, or maybe you had a balanced Trick Room team with a Sinistra that was still balanced and still had Tailwinds, so maybe you're a Tail Room player. Like, I want you to be thinking about your old history, if you have one, right? So now we're gonna go to the fun stuff, right? Kyogre, Groudon, Torkoal, Pelipper, Sun, and Rain. So, they are very different. It's not like Tailwind or Trick Room to where it's like, they're just options. There is a fundamental personality style difference to both of these weathers, okay? Sun is hyper offense nuke and gambling. That is Sun. Sun has more power, more instant damage, more direct payoff. Think about it, right? With Sun, you have Torkoal, Eruption, and Trick Room. With Sun, you have, that aggressive Jumpluff Sleep Powder or Venusaur Sleep Powder. With Sun, you have Solar Power Charizard. Like Marco Fierro used a Sun Torkoal Trick Room team. Look at this. When he won in LAIC and then lost to Wolf in finals of Toronto, Marco against Wolfie Compenish, he used Tail Room with Porygon and Jumpluff. I believe he had Jumpluff on his team. And then he had Sun Nuke, right, with Charizard and all that stuff. So my point is that Sun has that feeling. Joe Ugarte with Torkoal and Jumpluff, right? Like, Sun is a nuke. So if you like hyper offense to blow things up and you wanted new concepts to use, Sun is the one. If you like to put your opponents to sleep, to be more aggressive, to have these turns that can either really, really work or kind of fail, but they can really win you the game instantly, like Lilycole, Torkoal Lilligant, Sun. Sun is very aggressive. It's very gamble heavy, but still the odds are in your favor, and the payoff is more instant. So if you are someone who is a red player, you like to blow things up, you are aggressive, you like Tailwind or Trick Room, but you want to have that boom, Sun is for you, okay? If that matches your personality, Sun is for you. However, there's another archetype that is the opposite of Sun. It's Rain. Sun plays slow. Sun plays fast, aggressive. It's like Zuko, right? That fire. That's that fire type. That's Sun. But Rain is more like water flowing, right? Understanding that your waves with that perfect time. Pelipper, Kyogre, right? These are Pokemon that never seem to go first and never seem to do as much damage as the Sun guys, right? Also, there's no Pokemon that gets double speed in the rain that can make you fall asleep turn one. They should create that. A water Jumpluff. That'd be lit. But my point is that Rain is about more control. A lot of it is about damage reduction, right? When you see Sun teams, it lowers the weakness of, water type Pokemon. But you never are really seeing Sun used as a way to deter that much water damage. Whereas you're using Rain to stop fire from hitting your steel types, your grass types, your ice types. Rain is used defensively so much. It's a damage reducing weather type, right? And what I'll say is that it's way more protective, adaptive, slow. I mean, think about all the Rain teams that you know, right? Pelipper teams. They're never like, I'm going to hit you first over and over and over again. They have a damage element with Arcaludon and Basculegion and Palafin, but it's never the sense of turn one, he's going to obliterate me and I'm going to lose. He's going to sleep my whole team, I'm going to lose. It's more like, set up my range so my guys can come in and they can do damage, right? That is Sun. Like you saw Wolf with Kingdra, you saw me with Arcaludon, you saw me with Palafin, right? Like that's what I'm talking about. And Rain favors that blue type, that wait until that perfect time player, and they adapt to all player. Whereas the Sun plays more of that blow it all up player. And I bring this up because you at home know what kind of player you are, right? So maybe you're hearing me with some good ideas. Maybe you're saying, you know what? I like this tail room concept, and I'm a lot more aggressive, so I'm Sun. Or you're going to say, I like that balance feel, but the idea of rain feels like it synergizes all with who I am. And also, my best ever tournament, I used Pelipper. That could be an idea to you as well. So, again, if you're more relaxed, it's about rain. If you're more fast-paced, it's about sun, right? There's a reason why these hard Trick Room teams always have Torkoal on it, never Pelipper, right? It's just an example. So, now we've gone through weather, through speed control, and the next color, I went back to black. This is back to control, okay? And right here, the first thing we'll talk about is setup. You're gonna say, Darsh, setup, what is setup? Setting up is a play style that is built around building one of your Pokemon up to dominate the whole game, okay? So what's an example of this? This is an example of Calyrex Shadow with Nasty Plot, Goldango with Nasty Plot, Dondozo with the Commander Boost. When one of your Pokemon's main goal is to get its stats raised so it can damage and sweep the whole field. You'll say, well, how do I know if I'm a setup type of player? Well, we haven't got to the green yet. Green is a very take your time strategy. Green, take your time. If you said in the very beginning of the video, you are a piece. You want to wait. You are not in a rush. Then, good chance to like setup. I'm going to ask you some questions. Let me know if this connects with you. Do you like to click fake out a lot? Do you like to click follow me a lot? Do you like to really commit to the style of intimidate and nasty plot? You know, set up a screen and nasty plot and click swords dance. That is setup. If you love clicking moves like swords dance and nasty plot or quiver dance, you like setup. If you like seeing your Clefairy next to a Goldango so you can click, or mouse hold to click nasty plot, you like setup. Setup favors patient players. Players who want to lower damage, who want to redirect, who want to play the game in a way to where they are protecting their queen. It's like chess, right? Like your king. Your king is your piece. How can I protect the king? That is like setup. It's like you are playing this long game to where if you are a type of person that wants to make sure everything happens a couple turns ahead. I'm going to click fake out, switch in, follow me, nasty plot, protect, switch in, fake out. If you are this methodical, strategic player that wants to set up the board to where your one thing is just GG, it's over, then you like setup. Me, myself, am a setup player, but there are different kinds of setup. Like you're going to say, Darsh, well, what does that even mean? There are two types of setup. There is setup that is hard setup. There is also setup that is balanced setup. So you say, Darsh, what's the difference? So I'm going to tell you. Hard setup is where you are committed to a setup strategy with the Pokemon that you choose. Typically it has redirection. So if you are playing Regulation H and you have, let's say, Komodo, right? And you go with Clefairy Komodo. Follow me, Friend Guard, Clangorous Soul setup. That is setup. If you go with, Mouse Hold next to Goldango. Follow me, Nasty Plow with Friend Guard. That is hardcore setup. If you're playing Regulation I and you go Ogerpon next to Calyrex Shadow Nasty Plot. That is setup. Hard setup is when you have a follow me setup move. That is it. Where you are committed to setting up that Pokemon as fast as possible and as soon as possible if it's an option. That's like Electabuzz plus his Swords Dance King Gambit, right? That's a balance from what we see right now. But there's also a balanced setup. This is different. This is, instead of having a follow me user with Friend Guard, you might have double fake out or double fake out plus Rage Powder. This could look like, Amoonguss Instant Rillaboom. Okay, I have fake out. Okay, let's say I have Goldango. All right, Goldango Instant Rillaboom Amoonguss. Goldango Nasty Plot Incineroar fake out. Protect Goldango Parting Shot into Amoonguss. Rage Powder Nasty Plot. Switch out Amoonguss into Incineroar. Protect. Fake out, make it rain. Like, being able to use fake out, Rage Powder, fake out, damage reduction, intimidate, fake out, that balancey approach where you have a very normal balanced team, but there's a setup element, that is the other option. To where it's not necessary. Like, you don't need to set it up, but you can if you want, right? And there's all different types of teams that could use this, right? There's like Dondozo, Commander, that is hard setup. You have to literally put Tatsugiri in the game. Dondozo goes, whoop, 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 it eats it up. And now you have a setup +2 attack, +2 defense, plus potential attack, +2 special defense, +2 speed. Like, bruh. Bruh. That's hardcore setup, right? Whereas balance, it's more do this and position and move and groove and do that, right? So setup, again, can work on rain, trick room, balance. Me, personally, when I got top 8 in Toronto in Regulation H, I used setup Goldango with Nasty Plot, in the rain with Pelipper, with Tailwind and Dragonite. So I used 3 different things. My point is that you are piecing together these ideas where you like that. And again, if you don't like it set up, you don't need to, because there are different types of Pokemon playstyles that just go, 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 right? The team that knocked me out was not a setup team. It was Chuppa Cross and Carson Converse team, where it was Follow Me, Blood Moon, Rage Powder, Blood Moon, Indeedee, Sneasler, Tailwind, Hyper Offense. So my setup lost to Hyper Offense. I'm just saying, these are real possibilities. The next type of team is my favorite. If you know me, you know I love screens. You're gonna say, well, what are screens? Like my window? No. Really my car? No. Screens are light screen, reflect, and aurora veil. It is a way of clicking a damage reduction on your entire team side for a set number of turns. And if you hold the light clay, as most of your screens Pokemon have, it will do that for about 8 turns. So, screens are perfect for the player that likes to wait until the perfect time and take your time. It's never the player that likes to just blow shit up. Never. Those are not the type of players that use screens, okay? Screens are used with Pokemon that want to sit back, that want to set up, and that want to abuse this balancing style of play, right? So if you're patient, right, you're sitting back, for example, let's say screens, the best part about screens, in my opinion, is that it allows you to be very reactive in a very proactive way. What do I mean by this? If I lead Grimmsnarl and Arcanine, right, and he leads Pelipper and Goldango, he has 2 special attackers on his side of the field. So I can very freely click light screen, because now I know no matter what damage he does, it's going to be less than that, right? Let's say I lead Incineroar and Grimmsnarl, and he leads Sneasler and Ursaluna Blood Moon. I can click Fake Out into either Pokemon. Let's say I click Fake Out into a special attacking Blood Moon. Then I can click Reflect and be stronger against Sneasler. What it allows you to do is be very patient and take your time, right? Because what you want to do is position it to where the Pokemon in the back are now behind this almost this thick barrier of entry and this wall of defense where they're not as easy to break through anymore. And you are winning these damage trades, okay? Like, what I'll say about screens is that it's flexible. It works with all kinds of teams. There are sun screens. There's rain screens. There's trick, like for example, my team right now in Regulation I for Worlds is I have screens, but I have a Trick Room balance mode, right? I have Calyrex Ice with Leech Seed, right? It's balancing. I have no weather, but I have Trick Room. I have screens. That is what I'm talking about, right? Like, that is a combination of 2 different concepts that I'm able to use, and one concept down here that I haven't talked about yet. So, screens are good for a player that wants to be reactive, that wants to, okay, I see 2 special attackers, let me click light screen. I see a physical attackers, let me press reflect. It allows you to be very like, okay, turn 1, I know what I want to do. Because for me personally, I don't like these high leverage, I don't like these 50-50s. I don't like these positions to where it's like, if you get it wrong, you lose. But what I can say is, objectively, against 2 special attackers, I can lower the special attack. So I'll do that. That's what screens are. It's a very niche style. Never more than 10% of players are using this, really ever. But I am one of the players I've brought Grimmsnarl with screens to every regional I've ever been to except one. Over almost 10 tournaments, I have brought Grimmsnarl with light screen reflect. So that's all I'm saying, okay? The next one is stall. Most of you hear stall and you're like, oh my god. Stall is one of the most annoying types of teams to play against. However, if you like to be a player who likes to annoy your opposition, then stall is for you. There are so many different types of stall, right? There is poison stall. There is Dondozo stall with substitute and rest. There is Leech Seed, Celesteela, Leech Seed, Calyrex Ice. The concept of stalling is in the name. You want to drag out the match as long as possible. Take your time, green, and wait and wait and wait and wait and whittle down your opponent. This is like using Muck and getting its evasiveness up and using Psy up and then poisoning their whole team, right? For example, in Regulation H that we're going to play, This can be Glamora with Mortal Spin, Toxic Spikes, right? This can be Dondozo with Rest and Substitute. This can be Leech Seed on, I don't really know what has Leech Seed in Regulation H, but my point is that you are comfortable going slow. And this is very common. Typically Dondozo is actually matched with Poison because they're committing to that strategy. I am committing to taking my time, making you waste your resources, making you go through the mental attrition of breaking me down, where I'm going to just sit back and take your time up, right? If you're a stall player, you're a menace. For me, I've never been a poison stall kind of guy, but I do like my Leech Seed. And again, my history, when I was first playing, it was during Sword and Shield. And I played Players Cup, and I really liked Celesteela. I loved Leech Seed Celesteela, right? So now, when I played Regulation H, I had this idea of Calyrex with Leech Seed. Before anyone used it in this format, I was the first to top cut with this format. So well that Michael Kelch called me on my phone. Dash, I think your Calyrex Ice is goated. I want to use it for the next regional. He ended up using it and winning the next regional with the same strategy. So I'm saying that it's a very good strategy if you know how to do it well. Okay, that's stall. The last thing I want to talk about is terrain. Notice how it's green. Because terrain is very different. There's multiple types of terrain, right? There's Psy Spam, there's grassy terrain, electric terrain. Tapu Fini is not in the game. So fairy, misty terrain, whatever it is, it's kind of irrelevant. But what I'll say is that the different terrains correlate with the different tempos. Again, back to tempo, right? If you are a blow it up tempo player, Psy Spam is amazing. Because Psy Spam is instant damage. It's controlling it. It's going fast. It's expanding force. A double target, 120 base power spread move. Psy Spam, right? A player named Bezad Muntazir won a regional with Lunala and Didi. Multiple people have debuted and gone to finals using Ndidi Armarouge, Ndidi Hatterene. Psychic Follow Me, Ndidi. Or even Carson Confer won a regional with Ndidi Sneasler. It's a real strategy that works. And that's Psy Spam, right? That's blowing up. But you're going to say, well, I want to adapt to all. Well, that's grassy terrain. Because now let's say they have a Ndidi. Or they have a Miraidon. Oh, I want to lower the damage of Psy Spam. I want to lower Electro Drift. I want to be able to click Fake Out. I want to be able to switch Electric Terrain off and then turn click Spore. That's grassy terrain, Rillaboom. Rillaboom can remove psychic terrain, so you can use Pranks or a priority and eliminate Expanding Force. But also Rillaboom can come in on electric terrain, lower the damage, and also allow Amoonguss to sleep on the removed electric terrain, right? So grass control is huge. And if you're a balanced type of player, which a lot of people are, they love Rillaboom. Personally, I do not like Rillaboom. It's not my style of play. So I have not used that terrain because it's not my kind of play, okay? But there's another terrain that is a little bit different, which is a little bit more countery, a little bit more offensive. It's electric terrain. Electric terrain is really nice because it doesn't allow you to get slept, right? And also, let's say I lead Iron Hands and he leads Psy Spam. Well, I can bring in my Miraidon and click Fake Out, right? Like, electric terrain is more that waiting until that perfect time. It's that balancing, that offensive style of play, which I personally like to use. And if you know, my Regulation I team is Miraidon, Calyrex, all of these things. So think about it on a scale of this. My tempo is wait until perfect timing and taking your time. Right? I know that. My best experience has been with screens. So what do I have? I have a Trick Room Calyrex Ice with screens with electric terrain. My point is that you can use this strategy to your benefit and it will work. So now I want you to think, okay? Where are you on here? What do you like? You can literally mix and match all of these things. I think you can kind of walk through it. Like, first you have to understand what tempo are you? How fast of a person are you in your life? Are you a blow it up? Are you waiting until perfect? Are you take your time? Understanding your tempo and then knowing your history will allow you to pick your strategy. And when you pick your strategy, you can now build your team. The way I look at this is, if you're playing in the 2026 season, Regulation H is the first tournament at Pittsburgh, at Frankfurt, and Monterrey, right? There's so many different tournaments. And you have to know what you're going to do for a while, because when you commit to one strategy, you will be the best at that thing if you do it over a long period of time, right? I have played Grimmsnarl so long, for years now, that I think I'm genuinely the best Grimmsnarl screens player in the world. I genuinely believe that. I beat Wolf with it. I beat Fede Campo with it. I beat Shohei Kimura with it. I beat James Evans, Joe Ugarte. I am a normal guy who plays less than 10 hours a week. I'm a busy human being. I have a full-time job, a girlfriend, I make content. I have to figure this out so I could be as good as the pros without being a pro. Like, that is why I do this, right? And I think for a lot of you, where if you have goals of making the world championships, like I literally have a guide, right? Where I literally show you how to make the world championships step by step like I did. If you want this comment roadmap, and then I have a 30-day challenge that actually includes team building, and it gives you a 30-day pathway to actually becoming a better player fast without wasting too much time, less than 10 hours a week. Comment badge challenge. Comment badge challenge if you want this 11-page guide. Comment roadmap if you want this one, okay? But my point is that to even get better, you have to pick your vehicle. And it's hard. I know it's hard. So my point is I made this video to show you that you can mix balance with tailwind, with sun, with screens, with terrain if you want. You can mix trick room with rain, with setup if you want. There's so many ways to play around with this. And especially in Regulation H, there are so many flexible tools. I think what you really have to understand is your personality type, your tempo style, what styles does that match fundamentally, and then mixing that with what's worked for you in the past. If you have no past experience, you don't even need it. But if you do have past experience, you can now literally use this to create your best strategy, your best team going forward. So if you are someone who likes hyper offense, you like to have terrain control, you want to have tailwind, and you are sun, well now your blow it up, ideology is one that has hyper offense, size spam, terrain, size spam in the sun. So what does that look like? You can literally have Indeedee, Sneasler, that's size spam, hyper offense, Volcarona with tailwind, right? And like now, you have already, boom, that's already three concepts right there. You want setup, rain, screens, Goldango, Amoonguss, Pelipper. Boom, done. Like, there are so many ways to play around with this. It can only be one, and it can be 5, right? My point in this video is that each one of these strategies, the best pilots have the matching personality to it, and I've done it in the past. So think about these things. I spent, honestly, like probably 30 hours trying to figure all of this out and put this concept in my mind that I've always felt onto a whiteboard to be able to explain it to you. But I hope this was helpful because I want you to be able to find your strategy and commit to it for a few months that I would love to help you with personally. And if you download this guide, I actually email you ideas every single day for free. So if you want that, just download one of the guides and I'll give that to you. And I can actually help you with coaching if you'd like. My point is that to get to where you want to be, you have to have your own VGC strategy. And to do that, you need to have your tempo and know your history. And then by knowing that, you can pick your strategy. If you want me to help you pick your strategy, comment strategy down below. If you want one of those guides, comment roadmap or badge challenge. I really hope this was helpful. It's been Dark-Type Darsh. Thank you to the McFree Mafia. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to be competing at Worlds this Friday. My first ever World as a non-professional, busy person. And I'm going to give it my best shot. And it's because of this team strategy that I found my love for Grimmsnarl and screens. I've been able to dominate it for a year now. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. It's been Dark-Type Darsh. Good luck in the upcoming season. Good luck on picking your strategy. And again, I'm always here for you. I'm here to help you grow. If you want to watch a video where I actually break down the world's roadmap in an hour video, watch this video. And if you want to where I break down the best 30-day plan to get better at the game fast, click on this video, all right? I'll see you guys later. Dark-Type Darsh.